Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a reading for the collective. I drew some oracle cards to really set the energy of the space, get the overarching messages. And from the Kali Oracle deck, I pulled Mantra Shakti, number 40. Her voice creates and dissolves universes. Her vibration within our souls creates our life path. You have the sacred power of voice. How shall you express it? To call for effective divine assistance in all ways. Do not allow negative thought or speech to undermine your inner spiritual connection. Claim your voice and your power to create. Claim your voice and your power to create. Listen for inner guidance and then set your course in motion. Though it may not yet be visible in your physical world, a new order is generating within the soul. In time, it shall manifest in transformed physical circumstances. I love that. Maybe the voice of reason, the voice of truth. Very powerful. The Angelic Lightworker deck, number 33, Soul Love. Soul Love. You are in the process of healing your relationship with yourself. Moving from criticism to insight, from judgment to compassion, from fear to love. This change in your inner vibration has an outer effect, the full extent of which is yet to be experienced. The changes may not always feel good. Ain't that the truth? They may challenge you to transform your attitude and default behavioral patterns, such as caving to guilt or being manipulated by shame. Yet they are ultimately positive. You are learning the true nature of soul love. In creating this respectful, honoring, unconditional, and encouraging love within yourself, you are also in the process of attracting healthy soulmate connections. Continue on your self-love journey and have faith in the souls that will respond to your pure heart vibration, bringing joy, play, and connection into your world. Beautiful. Feel like there's a theme developing here. And then your animal totem card for today's reading is Elephant. Resolve. You will overcome any obstacles. Get that you can do it kind of feeling. So this feels like a very powerful, transformative reading. All right, let's get into the reading. I am tuning into the collective, a lot of energies, not one specific person's energies. So take what resonates and leave the rest. If you are interested in a reading where I tune into your specific energies, you can schedule an appointment with me. The link is in the description box below. So, all right, collective. In the past, you were in the energy of lead. This is the Emperor. There's no gender in tarot, so the card is just talking about a group of energies that when combined are represented by the Emperor. Lead. There's something you are stepping into a leadership role. I get the feeling, especially with the oracle cards, that you're stepping into leading yourself, being senior in your space, being sovereign, having agency, taking responsibility to lead yourself. Feels like you have access to other aspects of yourself, maybe higher self, ancestors, guides. With this blue sun energy behind this figure, I'm getting being guided, having a map for success. All right, so feels like well, let's see what in the past collective is in regards to the Emperor mode. So there's something in the past that you were planning. Maybe you were leaving home, traveling, making progress, making it. It's like with that Emperor mode, it's like I feel like you tapped into that inner power, and you had access to, like, I can create. I have the whole world in my hands. And creative opportunities started coming through. New things that you were excited about. I think it feels like you just followed your excitement. You know, you trusted your intuition and those inspired thoughts and feelings, and it might have felt silly to you or different, or like, oh, but I'm just drawn to this. I'm gonna just go for it. I have no idea why, you know, I don't know if this is gonna lead anywhere, but I'm really inspired to learn this, connect with this new aspect. It feels like this energy of something new that you focused on and learned, and inspiration came after a period of great dishonesty, unfairness, where you might have felt very unfairly punished, where there was a lack of accountability. And whatever this thing that you were, like a passion project, whatever this creative project, this new thing to learn, this new thing to connect with, it really helped bring balance and harmony. I don't think when you started it, you realized how this was a gift, being inspired to something new, something different, something that really excited you, and how that helped you find your purpose, find meaning, especially coming off of something that was so unfair. Because that unfair, whatever this is that's in your past energy, that's like, let's call it unwanted energy. There was just so much deception and manipulation. It feels like you might have lost your ability to really express yourself. And that's why having this gift and following your inspiration and learning something new like got you back into feeling solid about yourself, getting back to that emperor mode, that mode where you're in charge. Feels like that taking charge of your life. It helped you overcome betrayal. It helped you recover. Because whatever the situation is or was in the past, it was brutal. Might be like a personal worst type of scenario for you. There was so much disharmony. It really, my solar plexus chakra is just like crunching down. So whatever this is, it was very unempowering. And it stifled your creative ability, how you can create. So sacral chakra is also clamped down a bit. Like it, I feel like there might be some guilt that you're still working through around why did I co-create this experience? Why did I co-create disharmony and misalignment? I think the more misaligned you became in whatever this was in the past, you became misaligned here with who you really are, and then really became more and more misaligned with the people in your space. The more and more misalignment here within you, you saw the reflection. I feel like you believed that you were aligning with someone or with a group, but by doing so, you were misaligning with yourself. And the more misalignment there was with yourself, then the reflection is more and more a lack of alignment outside. It feels like it was just a misunderstanding on where to align and who to align with. And so as you brought balance and harmony back into your space, as you realign yourself more and more here within yourself and bring balance within yourself, then you find that success and harmony outside. All right, so collective, right now, you are in the energy of trust. This is the Fool card, the beginning of a journey. So in the past, you were planning on leaving home, like taking something and moving out. Maybe some of you are literally moving. It feels like you're really ready for a new chapter. Feels like you've let go of a lot of what was not working, and you're packing light and moving forward. Feels like that same intuition that you followed in the past to help you heal, you're now using to take a next step, being daring and bold. Leading with your heart. I mean, she's got her eyes closed. Again, I'm saying she, but it's just the image. Tarot is genderless. There's a trusting of your heart space, trusting of what you can create. You're not able to really step into this energy until you really believe that where you step to can hold you. Do you know what I mean? Like if you take that step, if you take that leap, like a trust fall, you trust that you will be caught. That comes from following your inspiration again and again and again and again, and teaching yourself that you can trust your inspiration, to learn the difference between inspired thoughts and emotional thoughts. Boy. Whew. This is feels like a shift in the collective. It feels like a lot of people are looking for something new. Yeah. New inspiration, discovering something new about yourself, seeing yourself in a very fresh, new way, instead of being so certain that you know who you are, to realize that you have limitless potential, that you're a free spirit. This it comes with this curiosity of it, instead of fearful of what is the unknown, instead of this overwhelming fear of the unknown, it feels like you're excited about exploring, curious. What does freedom feel like? It feels like there's this exploration within, like a new way of seeing yourself, and that willingness to see clearly and honestly and truthfully within is fostering this newness and exploring your world and seeing your world in a very new way. So the energy of this past situation that was very unfair, the disharmony, deception, that type of an energy, it's still in your energy in present time. Someone who's ruthless, that has high expectations. And I feel like this person hides the whole of who they are, maybe even from you, that you thought they were a pretty wonderful person, but they were very masked, and they hid that ruthlessness, at least until the end of whatever happened here in the past that you healed or healing from. What's amazing is whatever this connection is or was, it really did a lot to destroy your confidence. It created a lot of exhaustion. And now you're, even though you are moving out and you're inspired to be the new you, it's not without, I mean, you've got some defensiveness, maybe a little bit of PTSD, some trauma that's just still yet to be unhealed. Some pain and fear. Feel like there's a fear that you might recreate this type of scenario. That even if this person isn't in your energy, there's a fear that someone like that might come into your space. There's this, it feels like you have to protect your heart. You've created like an armor around your heart, so you wouldn't get hurt any longer. And yet there's also an aspect of you that wants to transform this experience into something where it softens your heart, where you become more adaptable, more trusting of yourself, more empowered. So you can create space for others who are loving and caring to come forward and into your experience. It feels like the armor around your heart kept you very isolated and separate from others. It creates a lot of hopelessness and despair. So it makes you worry about what's coming in the future. You might be keeping very busy during the day, keeping distracted. But then at night, when you close your eyes, then your emotions are like, hey, let's process all these unfelt emotions. And that might keep you up. Feel like the story of whatever this is has are you sure that's the story? Can there be a different story? Is there a way to soften that story that it's ephemeral, like it's a dream. It's somehow there's this quest for softening the story so you can create a new story, so you can move forward and create something new with all this inspiration that you have in your space, this excitement, this exploration. Because right now there's a split. There's been a split in your energy, and there's still this split energy. So it feels like a desire to let one of those stories go. Are you the person who takes obstacles and difficult situations and allows them to make you softer, more resilient, more loving? Or do you match the energy of what and who was involved? Do you match that and mirror that type of energy? Do you become more like who was involved with this? Or do you find it a new gear within you? And let go of the power that very intense story has? Do you keep running the storyline over and over in your head? Do you keep sharing with people around you that storyline? And so you keep bringing it every day from the past and bringing it into the present time. So you're like recreating it and re-feeling it like the trauma is happening today, right now. Are you finding more and more ways to soften it, to process the emotions, the really painful emotions of this, the despair, the hopelessness? Is there a way to soften that so you can find your heart space again, so you can find you, the new you? Are you taking your power back? Or are you matching this energy and like becoming it? I feel like with any type of very difficult situation, as a broad brushstroke, that's our choice. Do I want to match this energy and keep playing in this energy and being consumed by this? Or do I want to figure out and allow this to help me figure out who I really am, who I am, my potential, my spirit, my excitement, my freedom from this? Wow. Okay. Your higher self is in the energy of feeling alone. Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is being left out. Left out in the cold. Feeling detached from yourself, feeling detached from others, feeling detached from the divine connection. In this image, the woman, no gender in tarot, but in the image, it's a woman and she carries her own light. We each have our light with us. And then there's a house in the distance, and she's on a high hill. There's water, like a river between her. So very disconnected, very separated. It's not even daylight, it's the moon. So feeling isolated and dark, scary. You might be feeling very alone in this journey of yours. It feels like whatever you've gone through, this difficult situation, has created an awakening within you. That in this relationship, in this connection, you had to disconnect from more and more of yourself to stay in this situation. And now you're finding yourself, finding who you are now with some curiosity. Who am I now? After this, who am I? Again, this whatever this passion project, this creative skill that you have that started in the past, that began kind of maybe on the heels of after this betrayal and deception energy. Whatever that is, it feels like a skill that you're developing, that you're mastering. It might be a skill that can support you. And that is part of you regaining your power, finding your heart again, finding yourself again. I don't feel it's like finding yourself again, like you're somewhere in the past. It's like the new you moving forward from this, stronger, more compassionate, more truthful, more honest with yourself and honest with others. That I believe was, yes, the oracle card at the beginning about finding your voice, being truthful. What was the you have the sacred power of voice. How shall you express it? Do not allow negative thought or speech to undermine your inner spiritual connection. Claim your voice and your power to create. That's a lot of what I've been talking about how you're recreating yourself, finding your voice again. Or if you've never had access to your voice, what does my true authentic voice sound like? Feels like you're building a confidence. You're taking back your power. You're feeling more empowered. You're in this amazing personal transformation. Yes, there's definitely a fear of change. And it feels like you're willing to face those fears. Feels like you are willing to take the suffering that's happened and transmute it, transform it into the new you. And in so doing, you've completed a cycle. You've got the world. You've completed a cycle and you're starting a new cycle. Feel like you have this desire to celebrate, to find fulfillment, to be whole. And again, travel's coming up again. Maybe part of your new journey is a new home within, and maybe a physical new home. Maybe that's part of the fear that's coming up is so much newness that's coming in. All right, your challenge right now is confront. Confronting past you, confronting your shadow side, confronting aspects of yourself that you hide from yourself, subconscious. Being willing to see yourself clearly, to not separate yourself from yourself, to accept aspects of yourself that are unwanted, unpleasing. A lot of shadow work type of energy. It feels very brave. Feels like your challenge right now is the truth. Being very clear, again, clear communication, finding your voice, being very clear-minded. To release judgment. To create boundaries for yourself. You might have put your trust in someone else to keep you safe and protected. And it might have been devastating to realize that really your trust and faith would be better served if you trusted yourself, if you learned how to trust yourself. I feel like that's what you're doing with this project, with this inspiration, with whatever that you've been working on and mastering, has been baby steps and sometimes bigger steps of how to trust myself. You're learning how to trust your intuition, to trust your excitement and where it leads you. You might be coming off as a bit icy right now. That's that defensiveness. And you are where you are. It's no judgment with that. Your challenge right now is to allow the good fortune to come your way, allowing it, not trying to find it, not trying to make good fortune, but just to allow the beauty of what you put out into the world to come back. Feels like you're at a turning point as you let go of that story, and instead of making that story more and more solid in present time, finding out how to make that story less and less in present time, how you can rewrite that story as part of your awakening. Can you imagine? This might be a bit of a stretch for some of you, but can you imagine that sometime in the future, looking back at this, you would appreciate it? You'd be grateful. Can you even imagine being so happy and successful and have learned so much from this experience? Doesn't make what happened okay, or like, I hope this happens to a lot of people. Like, it's nothing like that. It's like, had I had not gone through this, I would not be the person I am today. I wouldn't be following my dreams and excitements. How to use this as a catalyst to help move you forward instead of feeling like this is an anchor that's keeping you stagnant, that's keeping you stuck. How can you switch your perception so you're not recreating this trauma in your present? You're taking your power back from it. You're deciding how you're going to take this experience and make it work for you. So empowering. It's not an anchor. Feels like that might soften, because this story feels like it has a lot of power in your space. Your challenge is to release the burden of the story, to release the burden of this trauma. And you don't have to do it all. You can find help. There are people who can help you, professionals, maybe professionals who deal with PTSD and therapy, those who help heal and release, so you're not physically, like, your cells of your body, your muscles, your body isn't holding on to this trauma. I'm not sure if it's correct. I'm thinking like CRT is coming through, or some type of like hypnosis, some aspect where you can, whatever. For each person, it's a choice, but it feels like there are so many people out there that can help. Since you've been doing this, it feels like you've been doing this alone and you feel alone. Can you trust yourself and allow people into your space who can help you? I feel like not examining feels like going over this and over this, and it brings the betrayal into the present energy. Feel like you might be very nervous about people trying to trick you, being deceptive. There's that armor around the heart, maybe an armor around your whole body, maybe like wearing 7 coats of armor. But wearing 7 coats of armor, it's really hard to move or connect with anyone. This will take time. Be gentle with yourself. Of course, you're defensive. Anybody who's gone through this would feel this way. This is a collective reading. You're not alone. Our stories might all be very different, very unique to us. They are very unique to us. We are unique, having our very own unique storyline, our very own unique experience. And yet, there are so many of us that are going through this transformational process, transmuting trauma into something beautiful. So right now, the challenge is finding alignment, not alignment with someone or someone's, but alignment here within yourself, alignment with your higher self, alignment with your highest and greatest good. I feel like a lot of a lot of the collective has spent a lot of time in fantasy, maybe chasing after illusions, and then being very confused when the fantasy and illusions like take off the mask and you see clearly that the fantasy was not like the reality at all. Maybe this is part of like not seeing yourself clearly, being afraid to own aspects of yourself. Learning to love those parts of yourself that you resist, parts of yourself that you don't like. Imagine if we could each hold space and create a space, a loving space, so all of us can show up. Not just the parts of us that are pleasing and acceptable in society, but all of us, and be open and not try to hide that. Say, yes, I'm got a lot of aspects of me who is over pleasing. There are parts of myself that are very naive. There are parts of myself that are very emotional. And by being very emotional, I can be manipulated. There are parts of myself that are wildly insecure, so fearful of not being loved, of not being enough. There are parts of me that are so in pain and hurting and in grief. Wouldn't it be nice to not have to hide that aspect, those aspects and more that we all hide, but to create the loving, soft space for ourselves? Maybe the more accepting we are of all of what makes us us, then we can be more accepting of others. Maybe once we get to that spot where we love more and more of ourselves wholly, then we can look back at this situation, this difficult situation, and have a lot of compassion for old us, and even understand the hurt person or people that created this situation or co-created this situation. Once we learn to forgive ourselves, then we can also find space to forgive them. Not, it's okay what you did, but a letting go, not carrying this forward, of just bringing some compassion to the whole situation, seeing it from a broader point of view, so it doesn't have the same texture and quality of that anchor, that constantly recreating the pain in the present time. So, all right, collective, that's your reading. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.